Welcome, nature detectives. I'm Conrad Baker. I'm an outdoor educator for the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation at Letchworth State Park, and today I have a nature mystery for you. I noticed something really weird and crazy looking growing out of the ends of some leaves. I think we can use our nature tools to figure out what kind of plant it is that has the leaves and what the weird stuff is growing out of it. It's a double nature mystery, and I think you're more than prepared to help solve it. We'll use just two nature tools today, our eyes and our fingers. I'll show you what it looks like right here. We'll talk about the twig in general first, but I want you to keep in mind this weird stuff growing out of the end of this leaf. The twig in general, the first thing that might strike us about it is how the leaves are arranged on the twig. That's really important because many different kinds of plants like this have their leaves arranged in different ways. I'll show you what I mean. You see the stem that's attaching the leaf to the twig? Some kinds of plants have many different leaves growing off of one stem, but this one has just one leaf coming off of each one stem. That's really important. A scientist would say that this has a simple leaf structure as opposed to a compound leaf structure with lots of leaves coming off of one stem. Looking more closely at the leaves, we notice that they're not long and skinny like a needle, certainly, and they're not even long and skinny like, say, a dandelion leaf. They're kind of wide, like somebody's palm. And then looking really closely at the edge of the leaf, we can see that there aren't any points or spines or peaks. These are nice, smooth, round edges. A scientist might say that it has nice, smooth lobes on it. The in and out is the lobing on the edge of the leaf. Very smooth lobes, no pointy spines. So let's put all those nature clues together. This is a very smooth, rounded lobed leaf that's wide like a palm, and each leaf is attached to one separate stem. This must be a white oak twig. Now, white oak trees, as you may very well know, are really big, tall trees when they are adults, but they all grow out of tiny little acorns when they're very young. In fact, I saw one of these twigs happens to have some acorns growing on it right now. Eventually these will get a little bit bigger and browner. They'll fall off of the tree, and those are the seeds of oak trees. All different kinds of oaks have different kinds of acorns. This one we can tell is a white oak based on our nature clues. Looking more closely at this twig though, the acorns aren't the only thing growing off of it. Look at these very bizarre structures growing here. These really interesting little guys kind of peeking out from the leaves. I'll see if I can find some bigger ones for you. Let's see. Let's go with this one. This one right here. So, the first nature clue that jumps out at me about this guy is its color. And really the pattern of colors on it. It's lighter colored in the middle. It's darker colored on the ends of its outside. Really light color in the middle, and then darker colored on the outer edges of it. Second nature clue that we notice about this thing is its shape. It's not blocky like a square. It's not smooth and flat. It's round, standing up like a bulb or a ball. It's round, standing up like a bulb or a ball, and if we look really closely, we can see that it's slightly oval shaped. It's longer than it is wide. So it's almost football shaped, or like an oval or an egg. The third nature clue is really fun. We get to run our fingers along the edge, and it feels not quite spiny or prickly, but definitely bristly. I would say bristly is the best word I could use to describe this. It has stiff hairs, but they're not spiny. They're not hurting my skin, certainly, but they're not very silky, smooth, and soft like peach fuzz either. They definitely have a little bit of toughness to them, but they're definitely not spines. Let's put all those nature clues together. We have a hairy, bristly, oval-shaped, egg-shaped thing that is light in the middle and darker on the edges, that is growing on a white oak leaf. This must be a hedgehog wasp gall. hedgehog wasp galls, as you can imagine, are named hedgehog wasp galls because they're fuzzy and bristly like a hedgehog. The wasp that makes this gall will lay its egg in a living leaf of an oak tree. And then those babies will grow up inside the leaf. They will release some chemicals that causes the plant, the tree, to create this gall, to grow the gall, kind of like a scab on an injury that we might have. And the babies, tiny little caterpillar-like larvae, will grow up inside that gall, eating the inside, kind of like they're living inside their own gingerbread house. And then, when they're ready, they will pop out and shed their skin, and just like a butterfly, they will emerge and fly off, and they will go and lay more eggs. Scientists who specifically study insects, they're called entomologists, have found that the tiny little larvae that emerge from the hedgehog wasp galls are all females. They're all girls. There are no boy wasps that come out of these galls that look like this. Later on, when those girls fly away and they lay their eggs inside the very, very tip of an oak branch, in not the leaf, but the bud, the part that will open up into a leaf later, they will lay eggs, and those eggs will overwinter. They'll sit there and be very quiet and very still all winter long. Then in the springtime, when those buds open up and the leaves start to unfurl, those eggs will hatch into both girls and boys. Super duper weird, super duper mysterious, and scientists who study insects, those entomologists, are still trying to figure out how, if at all, these hedgehog wasps will affect humans or affect their natural environment. Some good news is that hedgehog gall wasps really need oak trees to survive, so they don't eat all of the leaves or damage the roots or the bark or anything like that. They're definitely not bad to have on an oak tree. In fact, if you really want to put your nature detective skills to the test, try to find some hedgehog wasp galls in your neighborhood. They'll only show up at this time of year in the summertime when it's really, really warm, so that when they hatch and they are flying around, it's almost to the middle of the fall. Then those adults will disappear by the end of the fall. So right now is the golden opportunity to find some hedgehog wasp galls around where you live. First, you have to look to find some oak trees, and then you can look very closely at the leaves to try to find these fuzzy, oval, egg-shaped, light on the inside, dark on the edges, little galls. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Nature Mystery. If you have any questions about hedgehog wasp galls or other types of galls you might find on trees, please put a comment in the comment section below the video. Share this video with your friends to put their nature detective skills to the test. And as always, like Letchworth State Park's Facebook page to stay tuned for more nature mysteries.